Well, new tonight, bombshell allegations against Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder. Accusations of intimidation, sexual harassment, and gross misconduct within the team's office. And now, a new assertion of sexual assault by Snyder himself.
Now, this all came out today during a hearing on Capitol Hill. This was a big day for that ongoing investigation, so we've got the whole team on this story. Adam Longo was inside the hearing room on Capitol Hill. Sports director Darren Haynes watched it with former Commanders employees.
But first, chief investigative reporter Eric Flack is here to break down all this new information. And Flack, this really is the first time we're hearing about a lot of these allegations, right?
Yeah, that's right, Zoe. They've actually already requested this oversight committee that Commanders owner appear at today's hearing to testify, an invitation Dan Snyder declined. Now Snyder is going to be hit with a subpoena. Today, Washington Commanders owner Daniel Snyder learned he will be ordered to appear in front of the House Oversight Committee for a deposition as part of its investigation into the team's alleged toxic workplace environment of sexual harassment and intimidation.
That is why I am announcing now my intent to issue a subpoena for the testimony of Mr. Snyder.
Snyder declined 2 invitations to appear at today's hearing, citing a work conflict. But for more than 2 hours, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was grilled by Democratic lawmakers over the league's handling of its investigation into Snyder and the Commanders. Appearing via Zoom, Goodell said Snyder hid a 2009 settlement with a former team employee who accused the team owner of sexually assaulting her on a private jet.
And sir, Mr. Snyder settled those claims for $1.6 million. But he did not inform you in 2009 that he'd been accused of sexual assault, correct?
I don't recall him informing of that, no.
Goodell said the NFL had become aware of the incident by the time the league launched its own investigation into the team's workplace culture in 2020. The committee playing never-before-released audio of the team's former play-by-play man, Larry Michael, who was accused of inappropriate comments about female employees before his abrupt retirement in the midst of that NFL investigation.
I do think our intern is looking better every day. I do think our intern is a little blonde there talking to Ace. Is it blonde and black? Yeah. Yeah.
The hell of an outfit in the middle of June.
She's looking freaking pretty good. I don't know what the going on there.
Known as the Wilkinson Report, the investigation has never been made public, despite the league releasing past investigations into other teams, leading Democrats to accuse the NFL of trying to protect Snyder. Asked directly if he would remove Snyder as team owner, Goodell said that decision rested with fellow owners.
Will you remove him?
I don't have the authority to remove him, Congresswoman.
A spokesperson for Dan Snyder issued a statement as the hearing was getting underway, saying it is clear the outcome of the House Oversight investigation was predetermined and that the committee should use its resources for more pressing national matters instead of an issue the football team addressed years ago, something echoed by Republicans at today's hearing. So,
well, it is clearly still an issue. All right, Flack, thank you. And, we continue our big story coverage now with our Adam Longo. He was in the room on Capitol Hill when NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell testified and spoke to committee members about today's hearing and what happens next.
Here in the Oversight Committee room following the hearing, and I just wanted to give you a little setup of what was playing out behind the scenes. Actually, right here, you probably didn't see it on camera, there was a nameplate that said Mr. Snyder. The committee almost expecting that Dan Snyder might somehow magically show up to testify despite repeated assurances from his attorney that he was not going to be present for this hearing. Had a chance to talk with Republican and Democratic members. They, of course, were questioning NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell today, and I asked them following the hearing about how this issue involving the Commanders and the NFL actually goes to a wider issue of workplace culture and responsibility in the United States. And here's what members on both sides of the political spectrum had to say.
Women who came forward from the Commanders are speaking for hundreds of thousands or millions of women across the country who are caught in less famous workplaces but still subjected to the same kinds of demeaning and abusive treatment.
This is one of the most visible workplaces in America. Employers are watching for clues as to how the government is going to regulate them by seeing how we regulate this most visible of workplaces.
It's really not this committee's function. We investigate wasteful government spending, and this is a private company. So, I have no idea why The Democrats have spent so much time and taxpayer dollars on this investigation.
Now to the issue of Dan Snyder being issued a subpoena to appear before the committee next week. That will not be in a public hearing. That's going to be a deposition in front of the committee's investigators, lawyers, and some of the members. I asked Chairwoman Maloney as she was leaving if they would immediately release that transcript of the Dan Snyder deposition and make it public. They said they have not made a decision on that at this point. From Capitol Hill tonight, Adam Longo, WUSA 9.
All right, Adam, thank you. And again, our team is all over this story.